Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 28th, and this is another edition of Live at the Open. So today we're going to take a look at oil first. Um, this is the crude oil futures, and currently we're on a three-day rally, three consecutive days upward. We're starting to see the PPO histogram tick up. We got our bounce right at the year-to-date VWAP. We kind of got our bounce more or less at where this previous RSI divergence line is. So now we're going to see if we can get through this previous high VWAP and continue our way upward. So let's take a look at some oil stocks. So like I was saying, I'm going to be trading PBF. That's going to be my oil proxy. So this one looks a little bit better than the crude oil chart that we just looked at. So same kind of thing. PPO histogram is ticking up, and this one even has some hidden divergence. So we made a low in here, and then we made a slightly higher low, but our indicator went much more towards the oversold level. So that's some hidden divergence, and then same thing with the RSI right here. So here's where RSI bottom, right around this 27 level, and then here where we are now, right around this 30 level. So that's a higher low right there, but then our indicator is making a lower low, as we can see here. So that's some hidden divergence, and that's bullish. It just goes to show that, on this last leg down, we got even more oversold than we did on the previous leg down, but this current leg was higher than the previous leg. So that lets us know that, there could be a potential for a big upside run. And like I said, we're using the previous high VWAP as our trigger, and then we're going to offset that with the ATR. So, if we keep getting days higher like this, we're already 3.5% higher, and the market just opened 2 minutes ago. So we just need to keep watching, checking to see volume. We've had some pretty high volume sell-offs during this pullback, which isn't really what you want to see. But if we're going to move around this 37, we'll call it 38 level, and we get some high volume to the upside, that would definitely be bullish. So, start watching oil stocks again. You've seen a lot of rhetoric within the news. Not really smart to follow the news, just follow price, and that'll keep you honest most of the time. So let's go through this orange list. As you know, TAN's been on here for a while. We already know that solar stocks are hot. We already know you should have been in solar stocks. So if you're not, just keep watching this one, wait for a viable pullback, and find your favorite asset within this ETF. Next up is LIT. So this is the lithium, and this one is running right now, but if you go and you kind of drew your relative strength analysis within that sector, SQM is the leading stock within that LIT ETF. So I'm going to be trading this one as the proxy to LIT. So same kind of thing as what we saw on PBF, that oil stock. So we're going to be anchoring our trigger off the previous high VWAP and offsetting that with the ATR. And then this one also, we didn't really get that huge divergence, hidden divergence that we saw on the RSI or on the PPL, but nonetheless, this is a pretty healthy pullback. We're holding this previous breakout level, so that's a good sign as well. Now we need just to get a little bit higher here, and then we'll see if this stage show up can continue. And this one's been a little bit better than PBF has, just because during this pullback we have seen, a pullback in volume as well. We see declining volume as price declines, which let us know that there hasn't been a huge rush to sell the stock. It's kind of just been, some people transferring it whenever they got the chance. So now once we get closer to this previous high breakout, we're going to see if volume picks up, and we'll know that by crossing the last 20 days of average volume. So going back to our orange list, so watch LIT. We're going to be trading that one through SQM. KWEB, same thing. This is the Chinese stocks. You should have been long this already. MCHI, same thing. Chinese stocks, you should be long this already. Oil stocks, or oil itself, we covered this previously. Gasoline, this one's kind of trading a little bit counter to oil today, which is surprising, but same pattern more or less. This one looks a little bit better because it is still holding that previous high VWAP, so we'll see how this one plays out. Natural gas, we got our bounce off the year to date. Now we'll see if this one, can put in the bottom. Like I said, this does look awfully toppy here with this big sweeping rounded top, but who knows how it'll actually play out. Next up is corn. Still working with this huge bearish divergence, but it's been holding this year-to-date VWAP and holding this 723 level pretty solidly. So we'll see if we can get any moves higher. Maybe this head and shoulder patterns turns into just a descending triangle, and that descending triangle breaks out to the upside. So you never know with these kind of patterns. You always just have to wait for them to play out. New to the orange list today is XPH. This is the pharmaceuticals ETF. So this is one of them, kind of like what I was talking about for XLV and XLU. We got this massive run off the lows here. We had some bullish divergence at both the PPO histogram, the PPO line, and the RSI. So all three of our oscillators told us that, hey, the bottom is in here and we might get a big move to the upside, which we did. But unfortunately for us, this one is too oversold to be taking a position in it right now. We need to see a base form. We can't just be buying on, pure run-ups, and that's where the RSI comes into play. So like I was saying, I don't buy assets that are over 60 RSI unless there's like some very clear base that's formed throughout that 60 level, and there's no base here. This one's just going to go straight up, so it's pretty likely that we'll see at least some sort of sideways consolidation, if not a pullback. And that pullback can, let's see, maybe that pullback comes down to here, and then we kind of just go sideways right around this 42 level, and then, we just oscillate between the year-to-date back and forth until we finally get a breakout above the year-to-date, and then you can use the previous high of that base as kind of your trigger point, and then offset that with the ATR, and then there you go, you have a position. CNRG, this one's the same kind of thing as TAN, nothing to really do here. This one's pretty much gone. And then XOP, nothing to do here. This is just monitoring it at this point. There's no base here. All we did was just reverse off this year-to-date VWAP, and then you could use the previous high VWAP as your trigger if you want to enter long. So then let's take a look at the blue list. So gold, still doing its same thing, still in this huge stage 1 base. That's why it's important not to trade these stage 1 bases, because most of the time, you may not lose a lot of money, but you're also not going to gain much because it's just going to continue to chop and chop and chop sideways. And often, that continuous chop will just bore you to death. And by the time you're looking to sell, that's when the big move comes and you miss the whole stage 2 rally. So keep watching gold. Nothing to do here. Stage 1, watch for the stage 2. XLV, we're continuing this move higher, but looks like we're starting to lose some momentum as we get close to that year-to-date VWAP, so keep watching this one. XLU, same thing, keep watching this one. XLE, this one just gapped above the year-to-date, so we'll throw this one on the orange list now. And then same thing as XOP, no base here. All we did was reverse off the year-to-date VWAP, so use this previous high VWAP as a trigger if you want to take a long entry. FCG, same thing. Let's add that to the orange list, gapped above. Same thing. Those three basically all trade the same, your XLE, XOP, and FCG. You have a few different companies within, but oil, gas, natural gas, pretty much all the same thing as far as trend. So here's ECH, this is Chile. This one is kind of looking to put in a bottom right around where this big support level is, right around this 24.5. So we'll see if that continues to hold. And then here's wheat. This one's kind of struggling, hit oversold on the RSI, which isn't really what we want to see when we're trying to trade assets that are showing good relative strength. But we'll see if this one can reverse. Let's take a look at the VIX. So VIX still trending lower. We kind of banged off this 35 level. We never got an intraday we never got a close above that 35 level, which is really what I wanted to see. I especially wanted to see it close above 40, but if we put in a bottom here, you can't really fight the tape. So just go with the trend here. We are trending higher on this weekly chart, but that does leave plenty of room for the downside. We could get a pretty decent rally here. So nothing to really do here. Just kind of monitor VIX, see what's going on, see if people are gaining fear or losing fear. And right now we're losing fear. Let's check out the dollar. So this chart pattern's been crazy. Let's throw on this moving average. So we're getting the bounce right where we should. We saw this run up. We did create this negative divergence. So this is something, we did bounce at the previous divergence, and now we created a second divergence. So we're kind of in and out of this funnel here, and we'll see if we can get a move higher off this 20-day moving average. And then finally, let's just take a look at some of the sectors. So here's the SPY right here. We're moving higher. Like I said, we need to watch this RSI trend line. We still haven't really tested it yet. So maybe over the next couple of days we run up into it and then we reverse off of it, or maybe we just break straight through. But either way, you need to just watch this level and see how price reacts at it. IPO, still forming a pretty good base here, but can't really do a whole lot when we're below the year-to-date VWAP. Bonds are still in a clear stage 4. It's going to be hard for those bond proxies such as IPO to go any higher when bonds are going straight down. Small caps, Russell 2000, same thing as SPY. We can delete this RSI trend line. It's not really going to come into play. But below the year-to-date VWAP, nothing really for us to be doing. Qs, below the year-to-date, we do have some bullish divergence. Very, very minimal, but it is there. That you could be playing off of, so we'll see how that goes. And the Dow Jones move higher, but still below the VWAP, so not a whole lot we can be doing here. And then finally, let's take a look at cryptos. So here's Bitcoin. This is the RSI trend line I was talking about. So we did get this kind of move, that fake out right there, but we did reverse off of it, and now we're looking to test this RSI trend line again. So we'll see how this shakes out. Let's take a look to see where the 20-day moving average is. So last time we got these big moves down, we were kind of right around this 20-day moving average. There was about a week in here where we kind of just hovered above, below. But now, we're coming into the 20-day moving average. That slope of the 20-day straight down. So if we run up higher here today, with the equities market up, maybe cryptos will follow. Maybe cryptos will run to 22.5, and then we just reverse lower like we have been. Or maybe we start to build, a solid stage 1 base, and that'll be shown on the weekly chart. Right now, this is still a clear stage 4 decline. 20-week moving average is still pointing straight down. We haven't tested it in, a month and a half, 2 months almost. So clear stage 4, nothing really to be done on Bitcoin right now. If you're looking to take a long side, and even if you're looking to take a short side, there's nothing to do. When you're on these stage 1s in the daily chart, like I said, if the trend doesn't shake you out, it'll wear you out, kind of what Brian Shannon says. So just keep watching here, wait for some volatility to expand, either to the upside or the downside, and we'll see what price does after that. Ethereum, same kind of thing. Throw the 20-day on, see how that's looking. Ethereum's even closer to the 20-day, and Ethereum got rejected at the 20-day much harder than Bitcoin did last time. So we'll see how this one plays out. This is going to be a key couple days to see how price reacts. If price can continue to just keep chopping sideways, even with the 20-day, kind of as overhead resistance right now, that'll be bullish because the 20-day will start to flatten out. The slope will flatten out, and then maybe, if we continue to the upside, the slope will start to turn positive, which will be bullish for cryptos as a whole. Let's take a look at HNT. So this one is one of the better charts. We're still way below the year-to-date VWAP, but we have been basing much farther, and it actually has been holding some of its gains since its May low. So that's something to take note of. And then Solana, same kind of thing. We have been holding some of these gains since its mid-June low. So now we'll see if we can hold those gains. This one is above, and this is that flattening I was talking about. So the 20-day moving average starting to go sideways. You can see it's parallel with the x-axis. So if we had any runs higher, it's going to bring this 20-day moving average higher, and that's where we can kind of look to buy pullbacks once we get closer to this year-to-date VWAP. So that's the charts I'm going to cover today. Just kind of start watching oil, start watching fertilizer stocks, start watching lithium stocks, and we'll see if these commodities